What's up, guys? Joe Elements here once again. So finally, a company has released a cage for the Canon R3. So I have been the Canon R3 owner for a little over 5 to 6 months now, and I've shot several music videos and feature films with it. The one thing that I was having an issue is to have a cage on there, and there weren't any cages out there. Now, Smallrig had a prototype, a 3D render of a cage for the R3 out there for a long, like literally the longest time. And I've been waiting for it. I reached out to Smallrig asking if they would send me one out so that I could review it, because there aren't any out there and I was eager to get my hands on one. And also, obviously, this is probably the very first video online that you find concerning the R3 physically being rigged up with the Smallrig cage. And so they didn't send it out to me. I was eagerly waiting for the cage to be released. They were online that you could have gotten it directly shipped from Smallrig all the way from China. And being in Europe with the import fees and the taxes and stuff, it doesn't make sense, because eventually I was paying about £160 for this cage. In other words, like the Canon R5 or R5Cs, they're just under £100. So I thought, let me just wait for a little bit. Finally, they have released it and it's found on Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description below. Amazon UK, you can get them a little over £100. And so I purchased it immediately once it became live on there, and very quickly I received it. There are just a couple of things I want to mention about this cage. I love this cage because, one, it is the only cage out there for the R3, and then two, it is very, very well built. There are some little hiccups here and there that I would probably point out, and I think my biggest and the main one is the LCD flip out screen. There is this hinge right here on the side that actually protects your port, your microphone and your headphone out port. It kind of protects it so that you don't hit it accidentally and yank it out. To be honest, ideally it would have been on the HDMI, but it makes sense not to be there, because when you flip out the screen, then it will hit that that hinge right there. So they have moved it a bit further, which is cool. It serves two purposes, I believe, and number one is actually also an Arca Swiss mount, so it allows you to do vertical mounting for vertical videos or even photography. But my only problem is, once you flip out the screen, there is only so much that you can tilt it to. That is as far as it will go. It will not go any further than that. So if you want it to be completely flat, you have to pull it out, because once you go out there, you push it out, then it hits that. It's not a big deal. Obviously, it works to the angle that it tilts up to. But my only thing is, I wish they would have put some sort of a soft material there to protect your screen, the back of your screen, so that it doesn't scratch up. Because if you're not the owner and perhaps you're renting it out to someone or loaning it to someone, then when they flip it out, automatically, as soon as they flip it, you hear this. That means that that screen is hitting that Arca Swiss mount that has been built on here. And so over time, that screen, the back of the screen, will get very messy, very scratched up. And if you're not lucky, it can actually damage your screen LCD as well. But besides that, there are mounting points on the Arca Swiss mount here. There are two mount points at the front here for if you want to perhaps put on a rail. If you have the right connectors, you can mount here. And then obviously it is mainly Arca Swiss mount at the bottom as well. And this new thing that Smallrig and tilter trending is having a quick plate to be able to undo your bolts for underneath the camera and release it. So that's very nice touch, you know, having it magnetically attached at the bottom here. That way you don't have to go around looking for a coin to undo that, or a screwdriver to undo the bolts. If you move to the right side where you would find your door for your SD cards, it also has a mounting point right here. In my case, I am about to release a full rig setup with this cage, so stay tuned for that. What I have done is on the side here, I have attached a tilter handle, so it makes it more versatile than actually holding on to this. And then also when you hold on to this, especially when you're filming video, you have the buttons right here that you could accidentally touch if you don't want to. But once you have extended the handle a little bit away from it, then the back here gets complete clearance. Another thing as well is on the top, there is two cold shoe mounts, one on the right on top of the handle right there. You can attach your microphone, and then on the left as well, right on top here, there is another cold shoe mount for you to attach perhaps your microphone there, or even your wireless lapel, or you can mount your external viewfinder there as well, or LCD. On the very top of the rig, you have various mounts there. You have a 3/8 and a 1/4 mount on the top here as well, meaning you can easily attach a top handle. Again, when I do my full cage setup, you see how I have this thing set up. The other thing that I want to mention that I wish there's going to be an improvement is there is a connector that mounts through the side, the top of the Arca Swiss mount on both sides, the left and the right, that joins into the strap mount, the strap hinge on the top there, and then that allows you to have a firmer connection because there is only one mount here. So having that going through the strap connector, then it becomes more rugged and sturdy. My only gripe with that is the connector that goes through there is not long enough. So it kind of there and about just touches the strap mount. So it doesn't go all the way through. So Smallrig, if you are watching, you might want to look into that and improve it. Make it a little bit longer so that it sits in through completely, because without that, there isn't very a stable mount, because you're going to be mounting the top handle. You might mount a microphone, LCD, perhaps a V-mount battery, you know, so you want some sort of a very strong connection point besides what it is at the bottom. And then at the bottom as well, if you turn to vertical mode, there is another strap mount built onto the cage right here at the bottom for you to have either, you know, the grip mount, the handle strap, or the arm strap, or the wrist strap, sorry, that you can actually put your hand in and then have a firmer, stable grip when you are actually shooting photography handheld with a big lens for a long time. Another thing that I would probably mention is at the bottom, one very good thing that I really like is you have the 3/8 mount and then also the 1/4 mount going across, because that's one problem that we have with most hybrid cameras and DSLR cameras, is that there is only one plate hole at the bottom for you to mount your base plate. So this converts it into two, so it allows you to have a proper mount. That way the camera does not swivel left and right, so it's firmly attached to the base plate. On the battery side, as you can see, they have released this place completely clear, so it allows you to easily remove and exchange your battery if and when needed. That is what the rig is. If you have a look on the top side, the design is very nice. The top plate, obviously, it is not touching the camera, which is brilliant, because that's one thing that I was very concerned about, that when a cage touches the camera over time, you know, it's rubbing against it, it scratches up the camera. But as far as I can see throughout the whole rig, the only connection here is through the strap mount and then the bottom, but everywhere else is kind of, there is very, very tiny leeway so that the cage doesn't actually touch the camera. The very front where the top plate hits the camera, there is a soft pad there so that it doesn't make hard contact with the metal and scratch up your camera. So that same pad, I just wish that they had implemented that right here on the edge so that when you open your LCD screen and you swivel it, it doesn't hit the hard metal. But that's something minor that, you know, you can put yourself. So I'm looking at putting something there so that it doesn't scratch up my camera. Because someone like me, I love keeping my camera new, as pristine as possible. That way, when it gets to the point of sales, you can always get good money back than a scratched up camera. So this is a little overview of the Smallrig cage for the Canon R3. Stay tuned and I will be releasing my full rig setup with this cage and wireless system, and then also my mat box and my LCD monitors. The full kit will be released very, very soon, hopefully this week. So stay tuned and watch out for that. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of the Canon R3. Stay tuned and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.